Hey everyone, welcome to week 11 of this Edinburgh Marathon training series. The training is going so well and I am just loving it at the moment. And this takes over the largest volume week I've ever run as well. So we're going to have a look at all the training I did this week. It went really well. The body feels great. It's Sunday night at the moment and yeah, I feel fresh and ready to go again tomorrow. But firstly, if you're new here, my name's Tim. I'm documenting my training here on YouTube. For this block in particular, it's for Edinburgh Marathon and we're going for that SUB3, but we do have a marathon in 2 weeks, which, yeah, it may just be a full send for a SUB3 anyway, and then Edinburgh will be an afterthought and we'll reassess for that. And if that's something you think you'd be interested in, make sure to subscribe and follow along. I'm gonna need your help for this SUB3. And if you're not new and you've been tuning in for this whole series or you've been supporting the channel since the start, I really do appreciate it and it's really motivating me to just continue on, keep posting and making content for you guys and just videos I can look back on. But yeah, with that being said, let's get into the biggest training week I've ever done, with my Monday morning session, which was 4 times 8.5 minutes with a 60-second jog recovery. And for these, I'm really just trying to lock into a rhythm now that it's getting closer to a marathon race. I just want to feel like I'm getting into a certain breathing rhythm and pattern, and I'm not going too deep where I'm starting to gasp for air and stuff. So I've been really easing into these threshold sessions. So my first rep was an average heart rate of only 132 and a max of 136. And that is locking into that 3 in, 3 out breathing that I've been doing. So 3 strides in, 3 strides out. The average pace ended up being 412 and my average heart rate was 132, max 136. So yeah, super controlled. It was only 8.5 minutes. And I may ask why I do these sessions in minutes, and I just find it's a little bit more consistent. I know I'm getting 8.5 minutes of running at a certain effort rather than doing it for time. If I run a little bit faster, then it's actually less than that time. And if I take a little longer, it's more. So I just find it's a little bit more consistent and it's kind of a little bit easier to progress that rather than going to distance where I do 2K reps and then I'm not really going to go to 2.2K reps. I just find adding in half a minute or another minute just a bit easier. So that's why I do it. And then rep 2, average pace 407, average heart rate 136, max heart rate 140. So slowly progressing into it. Rep 3, 401 per K, average heart rate 142, max heart rate 145. So it is climbing, but it's just a nice progression and it should get me used to kind of progressing through a race rather than starting fast and trying to hold it. I like kind of easing into it, and letting the heart rate kind of drift up. And then rep 4 was 357 per K, average heart rate 144, max heart rate 146. So those numbers, crazy. I'm so happy with those numbers. And I put here that I love the Adios Pro 3. I actually ran this in the Adios Pro 3 and I don't know if my heart rate numbers are a lot better and more efficient running in them. So yeah, it's going to be a hard one because I do my long run this week in this Yellow X1 2.0. And yeah, I love this shoe. Lightweight, super protective for the legs. So I don't know, I think I'm going to end up using this one for Boston Marathon and then we'll assess for Edinburgh. But yeah, the Adios Pro 3 is just, I still love it. It's right there. So total, we did 12.5K, 128 average heart rate, and 434 per K for the whole session. So it went really well. And these kind of sessions just, it's so enjoyable because it's kind of like you're working, but it's never so taxing that you just feel like you're spent at the end of a session. You feel like you could just do another 1 or 2 reps. So I do love it and looking forward to just continuing this training even after this block. I am going to do a speed block, but yeah, pretty happy with how these sessions are going. In the evening, I did 8 times 3 minutes. So sometimes I'll do 4 minutes, but because I did more in the morning, I kind of cut this session a little bit shorter. So I did 8 times 3 minutes, 60-second jog recovery. Average pace ended up being 4:01 per K. Average heart rate 140, max heart rate 151. This is the second session of the day and after a full day of work, so heart rate numbers are generally a little bit higher for me. And yeah, just over 10K, 50 minutes, and yeah, ticking off another double threshold day. Super good. So happy with them. And then on to the Tuesday morning, just 40-minute recovery, ended up doing 6K, 105 average heart rate, super chilled on these days, and yeah, just trying to keep the legs ticking over. And I enjoy running on recovery days, so making sure I get them in, even if it's not fast, yeah, I just rather do that. And then in the evening, I did 50 minutes, 8K, average pace, 6 minutes per kilometer, and 108 average heart rate. I put trust the process because there were a few runners out on the cycle path that I was running on, and they were like overtaking me, and I was just like, man, I wish I could just at least go easy pace. But I know I'm not really going to absorb the training load and get the adaptations if I just go hard the next day, and I need to make sure I recover and then I can build back into it again later in the week. So yep, trust the process, guys. Wednesday morning, we did the normal 1 hour, 12K, average pace just under 5 minutes per K, and average heart rate 122. These are kind of like between 125 heart rate and 130, kind of around there is where I want it, but I'm not too bothered about pace. It's just to go a little bit harder than that recovery, so get my legs turning over a bit more and a little bit more aerobic benefit. And then on the Wednesday evening, 35 minutes on the treadmill, did 6.5K and average heart rate 107. So nice and easy, getting myself ready for the Thursday morning session, which I had a 32-minute tempo. And this was the same again, just easing into it. I don't start off like straight fast where I feel like I'm going to go to threshold. Just ease into these, and the average pace ended up being 4:10. Average heart rate 141, max heart rate 152. It's been so windy here, so sometimes the max might be like into the wind, up a slight incline. I don't know if it was right at the end. Normally my heart rate stays reasonably controlled throughout, but yeah, it was just another solid long tempo effort, which yeah, I really enjoy at the moment because you feel like you are working, but yeah, I'm able to stack weeks on top of weeks, which is nice. I don't ever really feel like I'm super spent. And then in the evening, I did 10 times 400 meters with a 60-second jog. Most of my reps or intervals are 60-second jogs. I don't do any standing or walking recovery anymore. It's yeah, basically just keep the legs moving and the heart rate slightly elevated. And the average pace was 3:43 per K, so just a tiny bit slower than my 10K pace, but I did start closer to half marathon pace, and then we went down to about 5K pace. So a nice progression through the reps, and yeah, felt really good. On this one, I believe this was the one where Jen was out there, and we were basically doing them backwards and forwards on the cycle path, and there were these horses on one side of the river. They ran across to the other side through the river because it's quite low at the moment, and the farmers must have seen it happen, and they drove down in their ute going backwards and forwards trying to scare them back across the across the river back onto their field. So it kind of provided the evening's entertainment during the 400 session. I don't know if Jen got a video of it, but maybe I'll have something to show you as well. But average heart rate 138, max heart rate 155. And yeah, session went really good. These ones are just to get the legs turning over a lot faster, just to get used to it, because I don't do many strides. So having the 400s in there as a kind of a broken threshold session, I can turn the legs over faster and the heart rate stays low. So yeah, really happy with that one. And just under 10K. And then moving on to Friday, I do my normal 45-minute recovery jog in the morning. This is just to get ready for the long run on Saturday. So I don't do a double on Friday. This is just quick recovery run in the morning, and then, yeah, well, I go to work during the day, but I don't do any more running. So I'm fully recovered for the long run, because that is a focus at the moment with marathon training. I don't want to kind of do a double and then go into the long run with any type of fatigue in the legs. And that was at 6:24 average pace and 111 average heart rate. So yeah, once again, pretty chilled, and we did 7K. And then that takes us on to the Saturday, which I filmed. So I'll pass you on to me on the run. Welcome to the Saturday long run. Just in the easy portion of the run. Today is 20K easy, around 130 heart rate. Pick it up for 8K around marathon effort, and then pick it up the last 2K a little bit harder if I can, and maybe a little cool down. So yeah, been going 7K all into the breeze, so I don't know if you can hear me, but yeah, feeling good. Already done some fueling, stomach's okay at the moment, so fingers crossed holds up. And yeah, I'll see you before the 8K marathon effort. Okay, so that's just over 15K now. I've averaged 4 minutes 50 per K. Hopefully you can hear me, it's still windy. Average heart rate 129, right where I want it. Feeling good. Fueled a whole soft flask with 65 grams of carbs in it, so stomach's fine, so that's a plus. I'm not gonna talk to the camera kind of from now on, because I want to make sure the heart rate's stable going into the kind of 10K effort. And yeah, I'll chat to you after the 8 and 2. So yeah, hopefully this one goes well. Damn, that's 30K done. That went really well. So good. Interesting to see the stats when I'm back home, and we'll go over it sitting at my desk, but so good. Effort was good, controlled, but not easy, but within controlled effort. Heart rate numbers looked good, so I'm looking forward to seeing the stats. Legs feel good, could keep going. Kind of ask myself these questions towards the end. Could I keep going? How far could I keep going? Probably, I think 10K, maybe more, but who knows? So much can happen at the end of a marathon, so yeah, really good. These shoes, the Cielo X12s, I think they are, super comfortable, protect the legs, so might end up going with them. So yeah, back to me at home. Yeah, like I said, it went really well, and yeah, I was just so excited with how the session went, how I felt during that long run. And the warm-up so I did 20K warm-up, like I said. The average pace was 4:48 per K, average heart rate 129, max heart rate was up 140, but it was into the wind the whole time, and that was when I was talking to the camera. For the most part, it stayed around that 129, even lower for the most part. So yeah, went really good. And then we got into the 8K block, where I wanted it to be like marathon effort, but I kind of just got into that 3 and 3 breathing that I was talking about earlier, and just wanted to feel like I was in a nice rhythm and I could just zone out almost and not worry about my heart rate. And during that 8K block, I averaged 4:07 pace. At the start of it, I did start off reasonably conservative with like a 4:09, 4:17K. So reasonably chilled, but then my average heart rate was only 141 in that 8K block, going 407 average. And my max was 149, but that was because towards the end of that 8K, that last kind of 500 meters, I started to progress into the last 2K. I didn't want to just hit that 8K split and then go hard. I wanted to progress into that 2K effort. So I ended up averaging during that 2K effort at the end, which is between 28 and 30 kilometers, I averaged 347 per K, average heart rate 141 during that 2K, max heart rate 155. So it is like that kind of threshold heart rate that I have been training. And it honestly didn't feel hard at all. I looked down at my watch at the start of when I was progressing into it, at the start of that 2K, and it was like 334 per K or 335. It was faster than my 5K PB pace. And I was like, what the hell? Like, it doesn't feel like that. But then I reeled it in a bit and slowed down. And then it ended up falling around that 347 per K, which, like, I believe that I have the speed at the end of these long runs. But yeah, when I'm doing that and it's an average heart rate of 151, I'm pretty keen to give SUB3 a go. Like, it's just crazy the feeling, like the fitness that I've gained. Yeah, I don't know how to describe it, but it definitely feels like I have another gear. But with the marathon, unfortunately, you kind of need to hold back and try and use that extra gear towards the end. So that's going to be the plan. There's no like, oh, maybe I could go for 255. If I go for 255, it'll be a sprint from like the last 10K. I'm going to try and hold nice and chilled for 30K or 32K. Famous last words, but yeah, that's what we're going to try and do. And yeah, this long run just went so well. Super happy with it, and it is showing great signs of like fitness improvement and even just pace control, and how in tune I am with the effort I'm putting in. So really good. And I made sure to fuel this long run as well, and that went to plan. No problems with that. So I have a decent fueling strategy, which I'll go over in other videos for the marathon. So we don't need to worry about that now. But I think I've kind of locked into that strategy, and yeah, we'll see if it works for Boston. And then we get into the Sunday recovery run, which was this morning, 50 minutes. I was out there on the cycle path. A lady come running by and she was like, I'm just going to turn around up there. I'll see you again. And then I was like, oh, I'm just turning around there as well. And she was like, do you mind if I run with you? No problem at all. Be lovely. So I had a nice run with Izzy, it was. She's from the area and I have seen her out running before, so had a lovely chat with her. It was nice to have some company on that run, and she's injured, battling an injury, and she has an ultra coming up down in Chester, so I hope she can even just get out there and enjoy it. No pressure on her because she knows she's probably not going to finish, but yeah, if you are watching, Izzy, I hope you do well. I ended up doing 8 kilometers, 609 per K pace, 112 heart rate, so pretty chilled. I was talking to Izzy, so the heart rate was a little bit more elevated than normal because, yeah, I find that when I'm talking, and I did my normal 50 minutes. And that rounds off the week with 123K, just under 124K, which is just huge considering I don't feel any different to when I was running 85, 95K a week. So yeah, the body's holding up really well, and touch wood, we're just going to keep with it. I'm going to taper slightly into this Boston marathon, and then we'll pick it back up again towards Edinburgh. But I did just over 10.5 hours this week, 532 meters of elevation gain. And yeah, we're just going to plan in a slight taper for next week, and then the taper week will be a little bit more of a taper. And then we've got Boston. I don't normally look too much at my VO2 max on the watch, but generally when I do look, it was 59 or 60. And I have noticed a couple of times that it's gone up to like 61, 62. Now it's 63, which I don't take much notice of it because I know that's not a real determining factor for like how you perform, especially in a marathon. But it's just interesting to see that my watch is starting to like notice maybe that my fitness is going up. So it's 63 at the moment, which I was really surprised to see. And my race predictions are pretty mental as well. I think the 5K, 10K, and half are actually quite accurate if you take away the elements like the wind, elevation gain, and things like that. If it was perfectly still, good temperature, and a flat course, I think 17:30, just under 121 half, and a 36:25 10K, I think they're really doable. Marathon, 2:54:49, not so sure about that, but you know, maybe if it all went perfect, there's a possibility. So yeah, it's interesting to see that as well. So my watch does think that I am improving, which is nice. But yeah, that's going to be it for the video today. It was a bit of a long one, but yeah, just excited to talk about the training and how it's going. And I'm really looking forward to giving Boston a go. So if you haven't subscribed already and you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe so you do get notified when I do that Boston race, and you get a race vlog as well as a training week video. I hope your training's going well and you've got some races coming up. If not, just get out there and enjoy your running. The weather has been a bit hit and miss lately. It's not very nice today, so luckily I did get out there early and got the run done before the really bad weather. But yeah, hopefully you can get out there on some nice days, enjoy your running. And that's going to be it for this one, and I'll see you in the next one.